Hello, everyone. It is Tuesday. We have made it to Tuesday, and this may or may not be our last day of Roadwarden by Moral Anxiety Games. So let me just get this caption out of here. All right, we've gone away with the captions. We are here with the splash screen. It says there are no roads under the moon, which Trav points out that it is trying to sound deep, but is rather silly. Indeed. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. It's nice to see faces. Well, names. I don't really see anyone's face. And you don't see mine, so fair's fair, right? But in any case, I believe the sentiment here is not so much that the roads do not exist under the moon, but that it is dangerous to travel at night. I think that's kind of what they're getting at in a sort of pseudo-flowery way. It is just supposed to be very dangerous at night. All of the monsters come out. Anyway, let's get back into this game. We are basically at the end. We have done all the things. Let's check our journal. We have done every side quest possible. We've even found the Roadwarden. We probably could run around the map and tell everyone he's dead. And we have done Explore the Peninsula, and I'm not entirely certain that we can finish this until we finish the game. So here we are at Pell to the North, where we finished yesterday. We're gonna finish up a few things, sleep, and then we will be going into the epilogue and the credits of the game. Ooh, Trav, that sounds cool. Did you make that up, or is that a quote from something? Okay. Trav wants to try and get the few pieces of the part of the forest path cleared. We have been spoiled to know that there is an achievement for that. Ah, yes, Pink Floyd. It's been a while since I've listened to Pink Floyd. Yes, I recognize that now. I recognize that now. Yeah, wow, that takes me back. And possibly tells you how old I am. Or possibly not. I don't know. Yeah. Crafty Blue does indeed love Pink Floyd. I know this for a fact. But yeah, we could run around the map and let everyone know that Astron's dead. We could do that. It would not be trouble. I'm not even sure we can get back into Howler's Dell, but we can certainly try. But yeah, we're a tiny bit hungry. We've got nothing to eat. We never used the sharpening poison. If we'd gotten it much earlier, I suppose it would be fine, but we never did. So let's go talk to the innkeep. Let's go talk to the innkeep. Let's go talk to the innkeep and grab ourselves some food. Any leftovers? Not today. Can I buy some? Thank you. Can I sell this? I could free you from this iron and steel, but we don't have a furnace to work them. So let's say 6 coins. Yeah, it might have been useful against the corpse eater. That thing kicked our butt. So first vote of the stream. As always, deal or no deal. Do we take these 6 coins, or do we perhaps go further north and sell it to somebody else who has less iron and steel? That might give us a better deal. The way we do things is there are numbers and there are keywords. 1 is deal, 2 is no deal. That is how it goes. If there happens to be a tie, I am the de facto tiebreaker. I prefer chat to figure it out for themselves. because that's how I play this game with all of you, and there will be ineffectual guilt trips involved if I have to break the tie. However, there is a channel points option to force me to make the decision anyway. Just for funsies. So everyone who wants to be active in chat tends to vote, whether it's with the number or the keyword, whichever I have said, and then at the end, I go with the consensus or my own crazy brain. And then we move on. For those of you who are just lurking about, hanging out, doing your own thing, we love you too. You do not have to participate in chat or in the vote, but I love to hear from you. So it's encouraged, but it's optional. Trav says Gale Rocks might pay another. Maybe Creeks, they're short. If we're headed that way, save it. We aren't in desperate for cash. If we're not, well, may as well trade. So I have one for no deal and one for deal. Does anybody else in chat wish to break the tie? Winter Fairy also says no. I'm assuming that's no deal. And not no, I don't want to break the tie. I'm going to assume that. So we will sell it elsewhere. I have found Asteron. You tell an abridged version of your story, during which you struggle to read anything from the innkeeper's eyes. Once you're done, he tensely moves his shoulders, waiting for something. So, we could tell him the truth, or we could lie. The truth is, and here are the dragon bones he had with him in the cave. I'm afraid it's not even close to 50. It wasn't. I think it was like 20. Or we could lie and say, I'm afraid he just had a couple of dragons with him. I don't know where your share is. Which is an absolute lie. So 1 is truth, 2 is lie. As everyone who has been with this play through the majority of it, Salron, the Roadwarden, has never lied a day in his life. We have never picked the lie option. This could be our very first one, but it's up to chat to decide. Which is absolutely 100% 1111111, as Winter Fairy says. We do not lie in this house, as Salron, the Roadwarden. He taps his fingers on the counter, but takes a deep breath. Could be worse. Keep 5 of them. He looks down. May an ape shit on his head. Looks like I've been conned. The darkness of the room gives his eyes a sad look. You didn't know him, but what do you think? Was he a crook? Our options are 1, I'm not sure. I may still find a pouch of his somewhere. 2, I mean, it's the simplest answer. Or 3, I don't think he would try to steal from you, and even if he did, he would have had a good reason for it. 1, 2, or 3. 1 is I don't know. 2 is yes. 3 is probably not. 1, 2, or 3, chat, what will it be? All of you, please tell me, and then I will click the appropriate button. Whenever he starts off this vote with 1, I'm not sure. Ida know. Good old Ida know. What does the rest of chat think? Crafty Blue also says I don't know. That's fair. The ones basically have it at this point. But Trav has thoughts. He says, I really don't think that 3 works. He didn't have what most would that most would consider a good reason. I'm generally in favor of somewhere between 1 and 2. I don't think he started off as 1, but he got greedy, scammed people, and did whatever he could to get to the treasure. He may have intended to pay them back. Well, it sounds like to me he did what we did. What Sauron did is he came into the peninsula hoping to make a difference and ended up feeling like he wasn't able to make enough of a difference. At some point, he learned something or heard something that made him think, maybe I could make a truck ton of money and come back, or get something that could make a truck ton of money and come back and make a real difference. Like, I actually think that it wasn't so much that greed got to him as desperation hit. And then he reached the cave thinking that he would find wonders and found the remnants left behind of a people who had everything stolen, basically everything stolen from them, and had been kicked out of their land. What had been built up in his head as something that could save the Northern Peninsula entirely became a pipe dream, a burst bubble. And he, perhaps in a fit of despair, or perhaps because he was horrifically wounded by the time he reached that cave, pinned himself in so that he couldn't wander off into the woods as an undead. That's my theory. That's what I feel. But the Idanos really have it. Is it a false hope? Maybe. Lasson, the innkeeper of Fell to the North, is a fairly practical man. I don't think he'll take it as a false hope, but we don't know. Maybe we will find, 30 more coins, or 30 more dragon coins in a pouch somewhere. We don't know. I'm going to keep my hopes low. He purses his lips. I appreciate your efforts, though. Getting to an island like that ain't an easy feat. This peninsula needs people like you. There's too many things happening away from everyone's eyes. All right. Yeah, it is going to be stupid of him. I'm pretty sure he took everything. I think he used 30 coins to buy the boat. And the rest of the coins he thought he would be trading with someone on the island, perhaps. And just found death and destruction. That's what I think. All right, let's take another look around. Let's step towards Quintus. He has nothing to say. All right, then. Let's talk to Tulia, sorry. Hello again. We have multiple things we can talk to her about. We never told her that the priest of White Marshes has agreed to release the dead shells. Problem solved. Yes, sorry, awkward. We're almost done. We may be running around the map for a little while just to finish up any lingering anything, but we're almost done, yes. Just like that, says Tulia. Her voice is close to a shout, and after you explain that it's quite a bit more complicated, she struggles to listen without assailing you with questions. Finally, you conclude your tale, and Tulia chuckles weakly. Ah, Sauron, you just made my life much easier. I can now report in Havlavin that at least some of the northern struggles won't require an entire squad to fix them. Just don't omit my part in this. I wouldn't dare. I'm more than fine with the truth. I found Asteron. Tulia doesn't interrupt you, nodding as she's keenly listening to your tale about clues and rumors, the old tribes and the awakened corpse. She ponders for a bit, looking at the oven. So what did you make of it? Not the brightest death I could wish for someone. So, more thoughts on Asteron. We have 5 options this time. 1 is he knew the danger but took the risk away, a fair end to his journey. 2 is he was biting off more than he could chew. Now his kids will face the consequences. Oh, that's right. He has a family back in Havlavin, or close to anyway. 3 is I don't know what to think. I'd like to learn his own perspective. 4 is he made a mistake. That's all. It has nothing to do with me. And 5 is honestly, I may end up the same way. But we didn't. We took a crew. We're not that stupid. So 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. 1 is danger. 2 is consequences. 3 is learn. 4 is mistake. And 5 is me too. Winterberry says 1. He knew the danger. Trav says 2? He couldn't handle it. Took far too big a risk. Your argument is plausible, but regardless, it wasn't well planned and it failed very badly. Also, yep, we found him in a bad way at the end. Yep. So I have a vote for 1 and a vote for 2. Who else in chat would like to weigh in on this this opinion that we have of Asteron, the dead adventurer? Former Roadwarden. Sorry, Awkward. Feel free to weigh in. I know that you've played this game 4 times yourself already, but feel free to put your, decide which opinion you feel Astron embodies. Sorry, Awkward says 5. In some alternate universe, we did end up like him. That's true. We died to a corpse eater twice. In this one, we an alternate universe version of us have already happened in my playthrough, where we died to a corpse eater twice. All right, I have a vote for 1, I have a vote for 2, and I have a vote for 5. That means you've left it up to me, chat. How terrible of you. As far as my own opinion goes, I don't know what to think. I'd like to learn his own perspective. I actually would love to know what he was thinking. I really do. He sighs. Well, we won't read his soul. Let it go. It's in the past now. His death seems so pointless now, or you're right. I'll be fine. Pointless or fine. 1 or 2. You know what to do, chat. Tell me what you would like me to click. Pretty please. Crafty Blue says 2. We'll be fine. Winterberry agrees. The 2s are in the lead. But wait, she has his journal. It's in this package she's supposed to take home with her for his family. I say 2. All right. Yeah, we never did pick that up. I don't think I've been to Tulia's camp in quite a long time, actually. We probably should go check it out to see if we can fetch those things. She sighs. Well, we won't read his soul. Let it go. It's in the past now. You're right. I'll be fine. Astron's family won't be happy to hear the news, but thanks to you, they can start to heal. Now we need you to take care of yourself. You've got potential. That's the plan. She stretches out, heads upstairs, and brings you a few items. There's enough of them to make her stumble, but she covers her embarrassment with a chuckle. Well, this is my part of the deal. She rests 2 weapons against the table. You remove the cloth wrapped around the spear's head. It's sharp, made of steel. The shaft is made of thick oak. Astron must have had pretty large hands and is partially covered with linen cord and leather straps, intended to support one's grip. The bow is currently unstrung, but it would be about 5 feet long. The polished red oak shines in the light. You wonder if you're too old to learn how to shoot such a weapon. I look at the things on the table. The leather pouch must be decades old. You shake it. There's a few bones inside, but also something made of metal. You reach for the earthenware bottles. 3 of them are very similar to each other, as small as your fist and are all sealed with wax, though the tiny sticks in them will enable swift opening. Tulia explains that they contain small amounts of a healing concoction. The last bottle is much larger. There are 2 letters engraved in its surface unknown to you. The soldier has no idea what it is. Finding space for it all among my bundles won't be easy. Soda Pop spares you a glance as you reach towards your bundles, but then returns to its nap. You take a deep breath. You could have taken the easy way out, but you didn't. Your back, buttocks, and legs are aching from the long journey. The first night you spent on the peninsula could be a lifetime ago. Yet you're still here, and who knows, maybe even rich. What are we at? 9 coins. Definitely richer than we could be. Yep. We have all kinds of things. If he had taken some of that stuff, he would have been so much better off. Yeah, I know, right? But no, he saved it for his family. All right, let's sleep. We're tired. A comfy bed with a clean blanket and an isolated chamber. You also get a large breakfast, a wash tub with water and soap, and some cloves to wash your teeth. Yes, we will take that. The small room is quiet and far away from unwanted eyes. You take a calm bath, rest on the soft mattress, look through the window, and enjoy the minutes of safety. In the morning, you find a stool with a large wooden plate bearing an aromatic breakfast. Fresh rye bread, a sausage, a bowl of berries, and a mug of malty beer. Downstairs, the innkeeper is putting firewood into the stove. He asks if you need anything. Hey, got any leftovers? Yep. You're lucky. I was planning to give it to the boar. He goes to the stove and in a couple of minutes prepares you a meal. Here. You see a bowl of flat gruel, another bowl with fish soup, and a slice of rye bread. While you're eating, he asks if you need anything else. Can I buy more rations? Yes. All right, we've got lots of food. That's really all I need. Let's go gamble, because we won't be able to gamble again for a long time. The boar rests on its side, pet by 2 of the guards, and your arrival is greeted by the entire group with kind calls. When Dalit shows up, she makes a comically exaggerated bow. Our benefactor has arrived, not satisfied with securing our purses yet. So, dice or axes? As a note, our combat experience is worryingly high, and our gambling experience is still small. Dice or axes? Chat, dice or axes? Do we want to throw some dice or axe the guards a question? Trav says axes just for the fun of it. Crafty Blues also says axes. Currently, axes are in the lead of the vote. What does the rest of chat think? Are we gonna axe a question? Looks like we are, Winter Fairy. We're axing a question today. How about some axe throwing? If you think you can handle it, we'll throw 8 times, so it's gonna take us half an hour or so. 4 players, each one bets a coin. Winner takes all. Still in? I'm ready when you are. Between the thudding of the axes, there's plenty of time for casual gossip. After getting the 4th point, the other players nod with respect. Quite a score, you hear from Dalit as she hands you your dragon bones. The other participants carry away the remaining planks. We did it! We did it! Look at us, sorry, awkward. We did it. We won at axe throwing while you were here. Yay, congratulations to us. We made 3 coins. We have beaten your curse by going to High Island. All right, I walk away. We're clean, we're fed, we're healthy. I'm gonna check to make sure, yep, our outfit's all snazzy as well. We've got way too much stuff in our inventory. Off we go. Where are we going, chat? Do we want to just go around the map and tell everyone we haven't told that Asteron has passed away? Because we can. We certainly can. We could go everywhere. We'll do a run through the middle and, you know what? Let's just go see all the things. Let's just go see all the things. This is going to be our last lap around the map for the end of the game. We'll end the game at Pelt to the North where we started this stream. Steep House. The village remains dead. Let us enter the goblin's lair. You return to the northwest corner of the village. The goblins may have been killed or chased off, but their smell is still around, so Soda Pop is just as alert as it was the last time you were here. You tether it in the animal pen, the one with a single boulder, allowing it to graze on the struggling dry grass. Just in case, you take your blade with you, but also the other pieces of equipment. You don't expect the creatures to move back, but who knows when the next scavenger will move in to feed on the remains of the pack. You stand in front of the entrance. The dried out blood now covers the older layers of dirt and rubbish. So, do we plug our nose with some scraps of fabric and maybe cover the smell a little bit as well? Or no matter how disgusting the place is, we can endure it. We need all of our senses. Plugs or no plugs? 1 or 2? Tell me, chat, tell me true. I know that you know what to do. Let us go. And in the meantime, some ASMR for you. Winter Fairy says 2. Senses, we need the senses. Crafty Blue says 2 as well. 2s are in the lead. Trav says nose plugs. We'd be sick otherwise, and it's not likely that we'll be warned of an ambush by scent, which totally means we will be, but still, nose plugs. All right. 2 votes for senses, 2 votes for no plugs, 1 vote for plugs. For anyone who is not a subscriber in chat, you got an ad in 30 seconds. I do not believe we have any non-subscribers currently in chat, but you never know. You never know. I give warnings all the same. It looks like the 2s win. Surprisingly, Sorry Awkward has not tied the vote. When you find yourself surrounded by the chopped off shell parts, trash, bodily fluids, and feces, your head is filled with so many sensations that your legs get weaker. You try to look away, move forward without looking at what's at your feet, but you can't help but be as present as possible. The building has 2 floors, with the upper one used to store straw and supplies. Since the roof's collapse, half of this place is covered with broken furniture, beams, bricks, planks, already overgrown by moss and fungi. The greenish pile makes you think of a side of a hill, though it's riddled with so many gaps that the light and rain can squeeze in between the debris. You try to avoid the puddles. Let's see what we can find. The lair is as crude as a rat's nest, yet escapes your words and senses. The sleeping spots are made of straw, scraps of cloths, feathers, and moss, but are so old and clumped together that you doubt they were any softer than the rotting planks beneath them. The corners are filled with feces, and you don't think it would make any difference for the creatures to relieve themselves in the middle of the room. You see broken furniture and all sorts of rubbish with no specific shape, nor a purpose you can identify, and a stack of bones and sharpened sticks taller than you are. It's nothing like the humble shelters that the family of apes build among the tree crowns. It's tamed chaos, an attempt at maintaining order in a place that ceases to be a human structure, yet is still not a part of the wilderness. Just a few days ago, dozens of beasts were living here, but you can't imagine how anything could survive in such conditions. The walls are covered with black and green molds. The floor is very much alive, with countless worms, insects, small lizards, and rodents running around among the dirt and the fresh shells of furry goblins. The blood, guts, and flesh are covering way more spots than you'd hope for. Something is happening in your stomach. So, let us look for what we can find. We're not coming back. Burn it to the ground, sift out any metal that survives from the ashes. You know, Trav, if that was an option, I'd take it, but unfortunately, time to look for anything of value. The painful search takes you almost an hour. You move the carcasses around, look into the stacks of garbage, examine the sleeping spots. By accident, you make one of the piles of furniture collapse, covering the floor with yet another layer of chaos. With every minute, you get more upset about the state of your boots and gloves, knowing that some tiresome cleaning is ahead of you. Your disappointment grows. There are many stories of goblins storing unusual treasures in their lairs, but you find not even a single dragon. Could the hunters have been so sharp-eyed in their search that they've left nothing behind? Or were the goblins simply never interested in gathering things for which they found no purpose? You move a larger plank, a next shelf leaning against one of the moldy walls, and you reveal something curious. A group of signs made with red paint. I look at the marks closely. The paint is old, placed with noteworthy artistry. It portrays a large tree without leaves, just a bunch of branches. You saw a similar plant in the main square of Howler's Dell. Its roots grow out of a human skull, penetrating its eye sockets and the open mouth, and a couple of red drops were allowed to run down the wall. Above the tree, you see a single large word, though you can't read it. I go outside. I need some fresh air and some water from the river. We're gonna wash. We're just gonna wash. That's much better. Interesting. So we have found something. Where is it? This got actually updated, interestingly enough. Yeah, we need to go to Howler's Dell now. Interesting. It's very interesting that we were still able to find it. All right, time to travel. Well, I don't believe we've updated the Elders, so we will go to the Elders' Cave next. A trail of black ants is crossing the road, carrying leaves, dried blades of grass, and little sticks. For a moment, you see not only the old druid, but also his female companion. Touched by years, she's leaning forward. As you arrive, she hides inside the cave. The man welcomes you with annoyed, "What? What do you need, traveler?" "I found Asteron." His eyes widen after you mention the undead from a cave. Once he speaks, his voice is shaking. Bleh. Awoken by the fogs, you released him from the worst fate. To know the truth, he sighs. It feels right. All right, that's all we had to say here. To Beholder. Hello, Beholder. You reach the crossroads. The tree is now visibly taller and wider, but it doesn't move anymore. You hear the sound of a small creature jumping into the water. I take a closer look at the roots. You kneel in front of one that's lying on the shore. It's brown, covered with hair that resembles that of your arm. When you touch it, it's moist, soft, and warmer than you'd expect. We are going to hug a tree. I mean, it's really dirty and disgusting. So what? The root is soft and doesn't resist your touch. You hold it tightly, even though its smell is not far off from the stench of the water from which it sticks out. While your Gameson keeps it away, you can still feel its warmth. Or maybe it's just a trick of your imagination. After a couple of moments, it doesn't look like it's trying to hurt you, but you feel a pulse of some sort. I give it a kiss. Like I said. The root is still soft and doesn't resist your touch. Its smell is still not far off from the stench of the water from which it sticks out, but you feel its warmth, or maybe that's still just a trick of your imagination. After a couple of moments, your lips start to itch. I stand up. All right. Let's see if we can get back into Howler's Dell. Allergies indeed, Trav. Allergies indeed. Oh, look, we can still work here even. You want to make some money, chat? You ride through the open gate, then dismount swiftly. The guards give you distrustful looks, and no one shows up to greet you. So, do we want to offer our services and attempt to make some money even though everyone's mad at us? Money or no money? Chat, money or no money? 1 is money, 2 is no money. Chat, tell me true. What is it that we shall do? Make some money or go talk to people? Even though everyone's mad. Winter Fairy says, money! Crafty Blue also says money. You should sleep here. It will totally be okay. Sorry, awkward. We'll think about it, but it's a little early in the day for that. Trav says, nah, we aren't broke. May have lost a certain sealed letter on the island. Oh, Theus would be so mad if she heard that, but well, what she doesn't know, she won't be bothered by. Ooh, spicy. I'm going to attempt to make money because that's what the majority of the votes said. You approach a small group and are quickly informed that your assistance will no longer be required. The mayor said you're spying on us, she explains while tossing a slingstone. Nothing else to explain here. You return to Soda Pop and notice that some of the locals keep a greater distance from you than they used to. I don't know if we have the option for that anymore, Trav, but we can certainly try. Let's go to Elpis the Druid. The building site hasn't changed much since the last day of your visit. The druids are observing the sky and having a lively discussion about the clouds and the wind, but after a few heartbeats, Elpis walks towards you. And seeing as we have no immediate need of healing, we have nothing to speak of. Okay, farewell. Let's go to the tailor. We need nothing from her. We can't even buy clothes from her. Good luck. All right. You approach the inn. The locals spread, leaving you alone with the merchants and guards. The innkeeper spends most of the time inside, cooking things for dinner, but occasionally he takes a break to make sure that his daughter, who's sitting behind the counter, doesn't need his assistance. Theus is, as always, nowhere to be seen. The trader is bartering with a bunch of people at once, from time to time taking something from the wagon and putting it on the counter, then, for some reason, moving it back to where he took it from. Pyros is sitting on a stool using his knife to turn a log of wood into a new cup. Nope, don't need to talk to Pyros. Okay. Hey, Akikos. When Akikos notices your arrival, he tells the other villagers to give you some time in private. Buying or selling? I bring goods to sell. Surprise me. We can get 10 rings here, or we can take it further north. We can always use some iron, but these scraps are 1 ring away from getting trashed. See, this one's already rusty. You won't get more than 10 rings for that. Deal or no deal, chat? We were going to get 6 at pelts. This is 4 more rings than that. We might get even more further north, but I'm not entirely certain. However, I have 2 votes for deal in chat. Deal or no deal? Crafty Blue says deal. The deals basically have it at this point, regardless of what Sorry Awkward thinks. All right, deal it is. What else are you hiding? More iron scraps. We can continue to sell them. All right, deal. Deal. All right, we've made 30 coins. Dang. Astron's bow. Our best archeress is gone, but The kids could use a bow for hunting. He picks it up and pretends to shoot from it, even though the string is detached. 8 rings? No, we're not selling it. We walk away. We will approach the innkeeper. Eric's also approaches the counter, but can't hide the anger in his look. Rations? His deal has still not changed, but we have plenty, so no thanks. He sighs, trying to smile through his pursed lips. What else do you need? Thanks, I guess. I want to talk to the mayor. The guard informs you that she needs to look for her, so you stand around and wait for what feels like an eternity. When Theus joins you, she says neither a word nor takes a seat. The necromancer of White Marshes has no more control over the village, and his laborers are gone. You describe your conversation, omitting how you managed to meet with Orientis in the first place. Theus titters, but her harsh green eyes look around as she lowers her voice. So you've put all my preparations to waste. She leans away, adjusting her cape. I'll let my neighbors know. They'll gladly hear about your resourcefulness. Found Asteron. You describe the island and the cave, but before you mention the Roadwarden's shell, she leans away and sighs. Leave this to the bards. Is he dead or not? After your one-word response, she waves it off. Very well. I'll tell the others. Look, we are the local Roadwarden. We bring news. It's what we do. We haven't stopped just because she's pissed at us. Very well, Theus. And we leave. You're wandering through the village. The tense looks of the locals don't last for long. They either keep their distance or walk by you, observing the guards nervously. We out. We are not staying here. We don't need to go to the gate, so we'll go to Old Pagos first. Oh, dang it, we should have gone to... Never mind. We'll finish up here and go back. It's fine. My bad. You hear loud conversations coming from the gate, in front of which you find large barrels, similar to those you've seen in Gale Rocks. Hey, they did bring food. A group of travelers, some of whom you recognize as fishers, guards, lumberjacks, or carriers, is standing many feet away from the wall, shouting toward it with a tone that's somewhere between embarrassment and nostalgia. You hear awkward apologies, shared memories, plans for the future, questions about family members, as if both tribes are hermits who haven't spoken with anyone in years. The first, and still unsure, step in a long path towards healing. As this goes on, the perfumed guard you've met at the keep, looking as clean and tidy as ever, welcomes you with a smile. Always patrolling, I see. Before you answer, he turns back towards the wall. You know what? I'm not even going to make this a vote. I'm going to let them do their talking. Let's enjoy this moment. You lead Soda Bop to the meadow and rest by the fence. After about an hour, the Northerners prepare for their departure, hoping to get back before nightfall. As they push their empty wagons, they wish you a safe evening. After you reach the people, the gate opens. Tertia's smile makes her whisper, as if she's not willing to believe what just happened. It's your doing, isn't it, Sauron? I know it is. Thank ye. Apparently, I have nothing else to say to her, so that's done. All right, we're going to the fishing hamlet. I know I'm backtracking a little bit. I'm sorry. It was my bad. The hamlet is peaceful, silent like a dead tree. An ibex is drinking from the brook, but runs away when it notices your gaze. Ajadia is by the brook, fishing with a spear. When she sees you, she gets out of the water and wipes herself with a cloth. She waves at you from a distance. Her voice is bright. Good to see you alive. Well, I had nothing to say to her. That's sad. I was kind of hoping that we could have a conversation about Astron and if she's okay, but apparently she's fine, and it's time for me to leave. Okay, bye. To the monastery, which is where we will be spending the night. You spot a movement in the thicket far below you. A massive bear is hunting for fish in the river. You spot two groups of hooded figures with lanterns in their hands, either patrolling the area or strolling around. You call the monks by hitting the sticks, and the drawbridge lowers. Ailey welcomes you with a cheerful wave of his bandaged hand. Salutations, glad to see thee in one piece. His young companion is right next to him, observing the sky with a wide grin. As you can see, Trav, I can't actually get that letter opened and read to me. We passed the point of no return on that one, but we will be sleeping here, so 'tis time to slip. You listen to the wind, then to the stream, then fall asleep, unable to focus on your own thoughts. You wake up after a couple of hours, disturbed by a loud clap of thunder, or was that a dragon's roar? You can't say. You spend some time awake, listening to the peaceful breathing of soda pop and rolling over in the old hay. You even take a brief walk indoors, stretching your arms and neck. You're both anxious and tired, with dreams and thoughts merged in an incoherent, aimless mass of impressions and half-real noises. When you lie down, you feel paralyzed, struggling to take a deep breath. It takes a long time before you close your eyes, but even when it happens, you have the feeling that someone is watching, with a pair of bright gray eyes. After waking up, I'm not sure which of the parts of the night truly happened. Well, that's not good. That's creepy AF. Your shell feels weaker than your soul. During your morning routine, your eyes remain a bit cloudy. You keep looking around time and time again, making sure that no one is watching you. The first few monks are entering the yard, carrying their tools and bring lazy conversations as they wash themselves in the brook. Soon after that, Ailey knocks on the door of the shed and opens it. His companion is holding her hands behind her back, giving you a charming smile of an innocent child. Oh, she is not innocent. Creepy lady. All right, let's have some rations and get out of here. Da-dum. We'll go to the old forest garden, see if there's anything we can. Nope, nothing to pick here. The sparse trees and shrubs grow strong, but there are no fruits left. Only bird nests among the branches and leftovers spread in the short grass. While there's many edible plants in sight, they aren't ready for picking just yet. Well, darn it. Let's go to the peat fields first. The gentle breeze is soothing, but spoiled by the sour scent of rotting soil. You avoid deeper breaths. Thyrsis is at the edge of the scarp, spreading his arms and creepers. Welcome back! We have literally nothing to say to him. Okay, bye! Let's see how White Marshes is doing. These poor people. The flames in the back of the village are taller than the roofs, and your nostrils are filled with the stench of burnt flesh. The grim scowls of the locals, who are now forced to tame the bogs on their own, are followed by their quick departures. Helvius is barely tolerating our presence. So we will approach Valens. Here to trade. We don't have anything to say to him, but we could sell some rations. Not that we need the money. But you know what? I'm going to. I want these people to be able to eat something. So have some food. May happen another time. Farewell. Helvius, get over yourself. You're still in charge here. Jerk. Time to head to Gale Rocks. We may never know if Orient has survived because we can't talk to Helvius. He refuses to deal with us. The workers are now resting, preparing themselves for the arrival of the fishers. While the younger locals still have to move wares and tools between the buildings, wherever there's a table or a bench, there are people feasting on roasted fish and fresh fruits, and the smell of herbs burn your nostrils. The youngsters are focused on their play, overseen by the elders, but even they have little energy left. The laziness covers everyone like a fresh blanket. Soon after your arrival, a few of the locals approach you with springy steps, and you find no excuse to avoid a bit of chit-chat. We kind of need a bath. We'll get a free bath. Fantastic. She has nothing to say. The gossip always has something to say. We did find the church. Yes. Yeah, see, there's nothing going on. At this hour, there is almost no one inside, and the silence of this place touches you even more. We don't need food. But do you have anything to say? No. The tailor. Is there anything you can do for me? Nope. Thanks. I guess we're going to talk to the village head woman. You ascend the hill. The guard stands up and puts his woodwork on his pillow, then asks you to wait. You hear his and the head woman's voices coming from the hall, and once the man returns, he nods gently. You're asked to enter, and we follow him inside. Severina puts away her writing instruments and looks at you with a gentle smile. Is everything all right? I found Asteron on High Island. As you speak, she pours water from a pitcher to a seashell and responds without looking at you. Right. Well, he knew the rules, the same rules you broke. She takes a sip and licks her wrinkled lips, but I guess you're still in one piece, so I won't dwell upon it. Farewell. That's it. That's all we have here. Apparently, Fletcher. Flores nods to you, then keeps his eyes on the arrow he's working on. We leave him to his work. That's it. That's all we have. So there's not much more we can do here. We ended our journey at Foggy's, so perhaps we should just go straight to Creeks. I don't think we have anything else to say at Foggy's. Well, we'll check it out anyway. The foragers have nothing to say. The surface of the lake is restless, and the cold wind strikes the tavern's hanging barrel again and again. You adjust your cloak. The tavern's windows and doors are open, and a bunch of furs are spread over the fence. We're fighting bugs, says the shoreman when he sees your look. The room has been recently aired out. Foggy is kneeling by the hearth, removing ash and washing the cauldron. She welcomes you with her usual cheerful shout. Hello, love. Good to see you in one piece. Nope. Nope, we're not selling those. We have one meal left, so we're good here. Time for us to go. She probably would, but those weapons are for Astron's kids. I would like to leave it that way. A guard leaning from the watchtower welcomes you, warmly welcomes you with a shout, though the wind distorts the words. Let's go talk to old Hava. She's sitting in the shadow of a shed, resting her hands and a cheek on her hand of the garden hoe. We already have a fish trap in our inventory, but we're going to take a whole roast chicken. Farewell. Let's talk to Ephron. He's just returning from a trip to the area behind the northern palisade, holding a hare in his hand. He welcomes you with a bow. Good fortune to you, friend. They walk away. Have a good hunting. Soda Pop snorts at a group of kids that are trying to pull its tail. You tell them to run to their grandpa. Hey, Ela. He's polishing the surface of a new cudgel. He smiles and puts away his tools. Welcome back, friend. Good to see you on the roads. Asteron is dead. I found his shell. He sits down. You consider walking away, but he finally speaks, though with hesitation. I'll pass the story to the tribe, though in a bit of a gentler way. He sighs and looks at your boots. I can't believe he found nothing. Why would he listen to a legend? Didn't he know that there are so many of them they can't all be true? He adjusts his jacket, scratching his side with an absent look. To think he told us nothing, and about such goblin-brained thing. He raises his eyes slightly, and seeing his clenched lips, you realize there's nothing else he can tell you about. All right, that's what ends another day. We will sleep here. Some people are preparing to leave, others are in a deep sleep. There are loud conversations coming from the main square where people are sitting with plates of cold meat and bowls of gruel, chatting about the plans for the day. Soda Pop is well rested and satisfied with grass. We're gonna get some more chicken. More chimkins for us. We have two. We're not going to work here today because we've got money. We're rich. Holy crap, are we rich? So we're gonna head out. Not really a lot. Pretty sure we already talked to the tribe of the Green Mountain. I think this side we've already done. So I'm gonna go to the gate and go through the heart of the forest to the woodland edge that way. Yep, we're gonna do that. There's fresh blood on the road, but the trail leads into the deep bushes. We will enter the woods. With the gate unlocked on both sides, it takes little effort. So, do we return to the cairn in the middle, or do we just travel all the way through? I'll leave that up to chat. I mean, we're definitely going to go all the way through, but we could go from on one, or we could stop halfway through, or we could go all the way through. 1 or 2 chat, through or half. You guys tell me. What will it be? I have a vote for go all the way through. What does the rest of chat think? It's just been me wandering around raiding things. So it's time to get chat involved. Crafty Blue says travel all the way through. All right. We do have a sharpening potion. Yes, we could make use of it. In fact, nope. Can't use our inventory right now. Interesting. In roughly a minute, an ad will be running for anyone who is not subscribed to me. I believe we do not have any non-subscribers, but it's good to stay in the habit of letting them know. All right, we'll travel all the way through and see what things happen. You see a strange creature in the distance, not smaller than a bear, with a troll-like posture and a dense red fur. It's turned away from you, crouching near a fresh deer carcass, tearing away the flesh and stuffing it in its mouth. Just in case you try to ride around it, but you get lost again, avoiding the trap-like corridors of fallen trees. At one point, you reach a bright glade with sparse bushes and a colorful meadow. Some of the plants bear berries that shouldn't be trusted, but you also find a couple of tasty-looking green and yellow apples, plums, and old strawberries. You spot no larger creatures, just a few monkeys, rats, and birds, terrified of your presence, trying to both keep their distance and fill their stomachs. So, do we tether Soda Pop to a smaller tree and spend some time picking some fruit, or do we just continue on? 1 or 2 chat, what shall we do? Fruit or travel? Fruit or travel? 1 or 2. You tell me what to do. Trav says, seems quiet. Let's see what happens. And fruit could be nice if we encounter more Saurians. Indeed. Anyone else in chat want to vote? 1 or 2, fruit or travel? All right, well, I guess we are gonna get some fruit. You walk into the sunlight, putting the harder in the bottom of the bag. The orchard is peaceful, but from time to time, the distant roars make you flinch. The memory of a red beast tearing its prey to pieces returns to you with a very loud rustle. So, do we look for more food, or do we get back into the gather or travel? Gather or travel? One or two. What do we do, chat? What do we do? Trav says, let's not tempt fate too much. What does the rest of chat think? Crafty Blue also wants us to get out of here. That's fair. That's fair. Well, I guess we're done. Let's get back in the saddle. Moving onwards. A boulder is sticking out of the pond, only a few steps away from the bank. On top of it, you see a human-like shell curled up with long feet leaning against the rock. The creature is a head taller than you, with gray skin and no hair, nor genitals. Its feet are webbed. The legs are disproportionately long. Its yellow eyes, with large black dots in the center, are as round and large as the bottom of a mug, and draw your attention away from the subtle nose and ears. It's looking straight at you, holding in the long fingers a raw fish. Made it stop in the middle of its next bite. I am ready to defend myself. Ties each other up until the monster resumes its meal, and the fish blood spills on its hands. As it keenly follows your movements, it swallows the flesh whole, without chewing. I ride away, but I don't give it a chance to sneak up behind me. Whew, that was scary. At the edge of the pond, you spot a moldy, closed satchel hanging from one of the branches high above the trail, most likely taken there by an ape or a bird. Like other trees in this part of the forest, this one is ridiculously wide, covered with dark, scaly bark. It would take time to climb up and the slippery lichen. So, we have options. We could shoot it down with our crossbow. No worries, Winter Fairy. May Miss Ma'am enjoy her food. Yeah, we could shoot it down with a crossbow. We could use the spear we've recently acquired and cut the satchel strap. We could look for a long branch and push the satchel off the tree. We may not want to break anything that's inside the bag. It may take some time, but we could climb the tree. Or it could be a trap, and we should leave. Trav says it's Asteron's secret stash. Maybe. Trav's vote is the spear. So 1 is crossbow, 2 is spear, 3 is branch, 4 is climb, 5 is run. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. I currently have 2 votes for spear. Looks like spear it is. All right, I grab my spear and cut the satchel strap. You stay in the saddle and make a single swift cut. After the bag falls on the ground, you dismount and spread the contents in the middle of the path. The foul smell hits your nostrils like a hammer. You ignore the old fruits covered with maggots and eggs, as well as the moldy shirt, but you kick away the small pouch. You cut it open and only to find 2 dragon bones. You grab the water skin to wash them. We made a couple of coins. You leave the dark woods behind. You spot fresh claw marks on the nearby trunk, as well as a broken branch. All right. So we've been through. It looks like we've pretty much filled this out, but if we want to ensure it, we could go back through once again. Hey, dragon. Welcome in, welcome in. Lovely to see you. Feel free to lurk. Okay, chat. What shall we do? Shall we go back through the heart of the forest one more time just to make sure we have the whole full path? Or shall we finish the game? What do you think, chat? What do you think? One is Heart of the Forest Run times 2. uh, and 2 is finish the game. Dragon says, do it again, do it again. What does the rest of chat think? We got plenty of time in the day to do it, too. Crafty Blue also says, do it again, do it again. Trav says, this was a smooth run. We could do it again, but I do have it on good authority that there's a lot of text for the end game. Go back once, then leave. Yeah, no, it's just going to be one more time. And then all the reading. All right. I will travel to the gate in the west. We'll just head back through. You spot a glint of a spearhead among the bushes and a staff right next to it. They approach the trail quickly. I reach for my axe and shield. Let's get spicy. The armed goblins with brown, gray, and black furs cease their onslaught a few steps away from you. Some of them move on all fours, while the others stand upright to lean on their weapons, balancing as they walk. They carry clubs, pointed sticks, rusty spears, a broken sword, a cartwheel. They fearfully observe your mount until one of the creatures steps forward and gives you a warning grunt. It's holding a deer antler. Guess that means we're free to go. Well, that was easy. You stop your palfrey and fix your eyes on the critter under a lonely tree. It's furry, shorter than your arm, no taller than a handspan, with tiny ears. It's mostly brown, with a white stomach and a black tip of its tail. Nimble like a cat, it pokes with its nose something among the tall grasses. The stoat tears apart the large nest made of twigs and leaves, one of which remains are still hanging from the branches above. You pay attention to the rustling leaves and take a deep breath. The blooming water would cover up your scent. So, we can shoot the stoat with a quarrel, charge forward on our mount and throw our axe, dismount and axe it a question, or run away. Crossbow is 1, charge is 2, axe is 3, leave is 4. 1, 2, 3, or 4, chat. What will it be? I need all of you to please tell me. Until then, I will just wait and see. It's a small creature and it's doing its own thing. I don't see any good reason to blindly slaughter it. Well, we may be saving something else, Trav. We could get a treasure. We could leave. I mean, if that's your vote, we'll then and if your vote becomes the consensus, we can head along. Not the stoat, that's for sure. Murder. So, as a reminder, to be clear, the vote is 1, crossbow, 2, charge, 3, axe, 4, leave. Please vote clearly in the chat. Numbers or keywords, I'll accept either or both. Dragon says 3. He wants to axe this stoat a question.
Trav says, we don't kill small fuzzy animals unless they attack us first, or are killing smaller, cuter animals. Just keep going. I have a vote for 3 and a vote for 4. What does the rest of chat think? Dragon, no amount of saying murder in chat is going to sway the rest of chat. You're going to have to be more charismatic than that. I have surprisingly few bloodthirsty people in my chat. Some of them are thirsty, but it's not for blood. Mostly for coffee, to be quite frank. Crafty Blue also says 4. 4s are in the lead. Alrighty then. We will just keep going. You've been outvoted, Dragon. Sorry. We have showed mercy to many beasts of the forest. We have earned the Gentle Heart achievement. After a brief moment of riding in the sun, a battle cry of a beast strikes you from your right. It's piercing to the bone, like the ravings of a lunatic devoured by their nightmares. The creature approaches you fast, maybe flying. Do we look at the enemy or do we bravely run away? Look or run, 1 or 2. What, chat, shall we do? Turn back and kill it. The vote is 1 is look and 2 is run. 1 or 2, run, look or run. Crafty Blue says run, run, run. So does Winter Fairy. Dragon says I murder because I care about myself. I'm not sure that's how murder works. Dragon says, look at the enemy. Well, the runs have won the vote. We're gonna run. run away. We bravely ran away, ran away. You focus on the road ahead, balancing your weight, avoiding the branches and boulders. The creature yells angrily when it misses you in its fall, but you hear no tumbling, just the leaves crushed by its paws, then the bent branches, tree bark torn to shreds, the panicked birds. It gets closer. It's jumping from tree to tree. The tree crowns once again block the sunlight. You enter another corridor of fallen boughs, and the more curvy the path gets, the quicker the beast shortens the gap between you. You make another turn and almost pull on the reins at the sight of another beast. Its limbs, as thick as tree trunks, are smaller than Soda Pop and are around the road, not on it. The beast's tower-like neck is devouring the leaves, chewing both loudly and slowly, but its long tail now leaning on the ground. There's a trail of broken plants and moved soil. The beast's skin is bumpy. Parts of it are brown, green, red. You now realize that your pursuer has also slowed down. For now, the giant ignores your presence, if it even sees you. Next to it, you're like a fly. You can't ride around the dragon, and you can't turn back. There's only one way forward. You speed up and lean to the side, hugging Soda Pop's neck. You feel your companion's warmth. The hooves get even louder. This blink of an eye lasts for years. You ride beneath the dragon's stomach, almost scratching it with your head, and soon after, the legs start to move, making the ground tremble. From the bottomless throat comes a roar that you've heard many times in the past, hanging above the distant woodlands. Your ears are aching. You close your eyes and clench your teeth. Your heart is pounding. We flee as quickly as we can. We just rode under a dragon. We just rode the hef over underneath a dragon. We were being chased by probably a very large cat, and we just rode underneath the dragon. Flux. Oh boy. All right. Yeah, we've done the path. The path is done. We're gonna go get a bath and we're gonna leave. The guard welcomes you with a nod. As you ride in, the other hunters splitting firewood and weeding the garden patches. At this hour, the armor's workshop is closed, but we're gonna go wash. Oh, we can't. Oh, we did. Never mind. Splashing yourself with cold water from a bucket won't take away your smell, but it's enough to remove the tallow and sweat from your skin or mud stains from your clothes. Yeah, no, we're perfect. We're perfect again. It's fine. Interesting. The guards greet you enthusiastically by calling you by your name. A few of them join Dalit and the board to discuss with you for a few minutes. I've seen a weird human-like creature with gray skin. It was eating a raw fish at the heart of the woods. Any clue what it could be? She asks about the appearance and actions of the creature, and after a pause, she looks at the boar as if she's asking it for help. Had never heard of such a beast. Her voice turns into a whisper. It may be a bad sign. Oh boy. So, dice or axe? Dice or axe? We gonna throw some dice, or are we gonna axe some boards a question? Winterfury says axe throwing. Trav says dice. We need the practice. Dragon also says dice, which means the dice win. If you have coin, I could throw some dice. Surely, but we're doing it the right way. All 10 rounds, so it's going to take us half an hour or so. 4 players, each one bets a coin, winner takes all. Still in? We doing it. I'm ready when you are. Time goes by, filled with lighthearted jokes and chit-chat. Your score is second best. Nice one, you hear from the man with a fancily braided beard, who reaches to pick up your dragon bone. As the table and the chairs are carried back into the building, Dalit looks at you with a smile. And we walk away. Well, we didn't win that one, but we're kind of rich, so it's fine. We're going to sleep. Because we can. Because she does indeed have wares. The small room is quiet and far away from unwanted eyes. You take a calm bath, rest on a soft mattress, look through the window, and enjoy the minutes of safety. In the morning, you find a stool with a large wooden plate bearing an aromatic breakfast, a warm mutton stew, and a cold yogurt. Downstairs, the innkeeper is putting fire into the stove. He asks if you need anything. Well, do you have anything you want? Oh, Astron's wine. Forget it. We're just gonna give that to their kids. Or the wife, really. The wife is probably going to need it. We're gonna buy some of this. And then we're going to go. All right. We join Tulia. She smiles and rests her ankle on her knee. Hi there. So, this is the end of Roadwarden. We're going to get into the epilogue and the credits. This is going to be a lot of me reading, and then I will get everyone's thoughts on this. So brace yourselves, guys. Let's see how well we did at Roadwarden. Are you all packed and ready? She rests her hands on her knees and straightens up. I am if you are. You look outside. It's early enough for you to reach the settlements on the other side of Hag Hills. Let's introduce you to Soda Pop. We're going to spend a lot of time together. The owners recognize you in the Bless the Empress Inn. This time round, you've got a few dragon bones to spare, and you spend the night in a proper bed holding a mug of steaming pigeon soup. The days fade away slowly. With Tulia by your side, you can't simply outrun the autumn predators, and a few times your journey gets violent. She's a good companion, a bit quiet, but resourceful. So, one is, after all the fighting I did in the north, the road isn't too rough. And 2 is, I wonder if it will be the last time I stay at roadside inns. 1 or 2, rough or wonder. Trav started off the vote with 1. Dragon All voted 2. Winter Fairy voted 1, so the ones are in the lead. Does anyone else want to weigh in? Violent? We rode under a dragon! That's a story to tell our grandkids. Absolutely. We're gonna have so many stories for our grandkids, assuming Sauron has any. Well, it looks like the ones win. The road just isn't rough after what we've been through. They're almost pleasant. After 2 days, you join forces with an encountered caravan. The road gets wider and harder, and you meet the first patrol of soldiers. "We're here," says the lieutenant in the last village you visit before reaching the city walls. Without explaining, she approaches a few red-haired farmers that are observing you curiously from the bench in front of their pit house. After exchanging a few words with them, Tulia gestures towards you. "The Roadwarden is who should be thanked for finding him." The strangers keenly listen to your tale, then, with smiles clouded by grief, thank you for your bravery. A man who looks younger than the rest can't stop his tears once he hears his paw has been spared the cursed fate and found his end in the flames. After a silent yet delicious meal, you resume your journey, carrying with you their names and invitation. So, do we consider maybe we'll meet them in the spring, as if we're coming back? Do we consider this is the end of their father's tale? Or do we simply ask for some hay for soda pop before we leave? Trav. Hey, Tulia, want some grandkids so we can tell them stories? Look, most of Tulia's stories is, we went there, most everyone I was with died. I ended up in charge for a while, it was a bad time. Our stories are, well, we survived impossible odds, killed a bunch of things, rode underneath a dragon, away from a cat. Winter Fairy started off the vote with 3. Get some hay for soda pop. Crafty Blue agreed. Any other votes in chat? 1, spring. 2, tail. 3, hay. Hay for soda pop. Trav says 1. Maybe we'll meet them in the spring. Well, I believe that means that the 3s have it. We will take care of our horse. Practical, that. After taking care of some chores and meeting a few friendly faces, you leave your mount in the stables, which, as it often happens, are almost empty. Your eyes are used to the unusual conglomerate of ruins, the makeshift huts and sheds, the restored, whitewashed houses, and the few well-kept residences that managed to outlast the invasion. You nod towards a few passerby, but aside from the marketplace, Hovlavin is quiet. You take your equipment to the Blackwood corner. It's a dangerous alley, but you know a place where a coin will keep your bundles untouched. The Boarhead Inn. You listen to the rumors, but as the minutes go by, no one approaches you or asks you for help. The trade goes fine, you hear. The city chief has a daughter now. The new ship is ready to sail. The taxes are coming. The corpse of the tentacled monster that recently entered the streets has been claimed by a vendor, and they're selling it skewered. Do we listen carefully? Maybe someone will have a job for us. Do we remain watchful? Things are not as quiet as they seem. Do we keep to ourselves, enjoying the calm before the storm? Or do we join a group of patrons and claim, let's have a drink? So, 1 is job, 2 is watchful, 3 is calm, 4 is drink. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Job, watchful, calm, or drink. Winter Fairy starts off the vote with 2. Remain watchful. Trav says, it's boring here. I don't think we'll stay long. We liked being on the road, too. Maybe something will happen soon. Crafty Blue says, drink. I have 2 votes for watchful and 1 vote for drink. Anybody else want to weigh in? Looks like the watchfuls have it. The noise of the drunken crowd hinder your sleep. You head downstairs and fully wake up only after you get served the remains of the last day's supper, a bowl of now mixed fried crickets and various spices, as well as a mug of hemp tisane. You listen to the Emperor's Mask, the hymn from the old times coming from the window. Havlavin is returning to work. When the messenger shows up, you let out a sigh. The merchants want to see you in an hour. You spend some time at a public bathhouse and prepare the outfit you bought at Howler's. It will let you blend in with the elite crowd. On your way, the familiar faces spare you a few nods, but as always, the city folk are too busy trying to outcompete one another, seeking dignity in the realm that belongs to the rich and the priests. So, our options are, yet it's me who's going to win a better life here, is 1. 2 is, I'll buy Soda Pop a few apples on the way back. 3 is, to gather my thoughts, I spend some time wandering the marketplace. Or 4 is, I head to the guild quickly. I want to be done with this. 1 is better life, 2 is apples, 3 is marketplace, 4 is guild. It looks like we've got 2 votes for 2 and 1 vote for 3. Also, non-subscribers, if there happens to be any, you will have an ad in roughly a minute. So keep an eye out for that. It looks like the 2s win. We are just gonna love on Soda Pop because Soda Pop's the best. After a few hours of exhausting examination, you lean against the wall, observing the arguing leaders. Their jewelry and colorful fabrics could provide for many northern families, maybe even pay for a new stronghold. Aside from the chief and his most trusted advisors, the room is filled with members of the guild, though some of the more significant individuals do not deign to show up. At least you had more luck than that poor wretch, mentions one of the traders. No one here remembers Astron's name. The news you brought from the island is of great value. You ask for something to clear your throat. Your detailed description of the peninsula made quite an impression, and you may be asked to speak with a cartographer later, and getting in touch with so many northerners helped you describe the complex web of connections. You fill in the gaps in your report. You discuss the recent disappearance of a trading caravan, Eudocia's golem glove, the few times you crossed the heart of the woods, the rumored access from the coast, the copper vein in the hands of the locals, the shelter by the northern road, the now flooded mine in the south. Still, it's your dealings with the tribes that will have the greatest impact on their decisions. Do we recollect the blizzard of questions about the villages, or do we relax and wait for the others to address us? Recollect or relax, 1 or 2. Tell me, chat, tell me true. You know what to do. I will just leave it all to you. Trev starts off the vote with 1, curious about what they asked. Winterfairy agreed. The 1s are in the lead. Anybody else want to weigh in? Crafty Blue is also interested. All right, we will recollect the blizzard of questions about the villages. Seeing the sealed letter from Howler's Dell earned you a few polite words, and the promise of a future collaboration sparked great curiosity. So it's still the richest village in the north, even if led by pagans, a priest summarized. And staying honest with them about the fishing hamlet will surely aid our negotiations, but what happened to Steep House? Your explanations made the city chief frown, but it's the mention of Theus's resentment that raised a few voices. So you separated her from us, most likely for good. One of the merchants shoots you a scowl. Amateur. The discussion about the raided village got pushed to the side. You briefly described the recent prosperity you brought to Pelt of the North, as well as the general safety of the southern road, and after you explained that the druids will likely oppose any newcomers, you noticed the telling looks of the priests and the officials. Learning about the plague of Old Pagos has worried the officials, mostly with the thought that you could have brought the illness with you. After some time, they discussed the promising future. Pulling a tribe away from the verge of destruction wasn't on the warden's list of duties. It is a very welcome surprise, you heard from one of the artisans. And having them start the negotiations is just as much honey as I can swallow. Great job. Gaining the prelate's trust is a great help. The monk exchanged nods with the best-dressed priest. We would be glad to visit the place you described. Having the opportunity to send pilgrims to that library would bring even more life to those roads. According to the reports of the city chief looked at a wax tablet. Tulia, I believe. White Marshes is using the shells of the dead. After you explained that the issue was not only solved, but has also most likely opened the village to the outside world, the inquisitive questions keep on coming for another half an hour. Too bad that heretic is still around, summed up a priest, but at least we don't have to send the purging squad. For now. You drew their attention to the vast peat field, and the artisans started to discuss the possibilities. The room got a bit warmer. After hearing that your visit to Creeks has opened the gate for future negotiations, the council's curiosity rose. A few of the members were not even aware of distance. So you bring not just opportunities, but also promises, said one of the traders. Perhaps we could indeed use their weakness to our advantage. You were then confronted with Tulia's reports, now written down, about the dangers of the Eastern Trail. After the reassuring tale of your deeds, one of the clerics threw the tablet towards a bored guard. Sounds like the trail can be tamed after all. The news of the relationship between Gale Rocks and the bandits sparked a long discussion, but your assurance that the issue has been taken care of received a warm welcome. According to the scrolls, they used to be of great value to the guild, said one of the traders. Having the largest coastal village open to negotiations presents reaching the village won't be too difficult now, with the tribe ready to restore its tunnel, added an official. But why would we even head to the village? Almost nothing about its wares. Another trader chipped in with frustration. Yep, well, we'll see, Trav, we'll see. I think Creeks will still have us, but everywhere else might not. We'll see. Should we expect any difficulties from the tribe of the Green Mountain? You were asked at the end of the meeting, after you described how, so far, your meetings with the chief and the shaman were rather fruitful. You were met with relieved looks. I notice that someone's looking at me. The oldest soul at the table, who started her life in the guild as a simple innkeep, smiles at you. Where do you think we should start, Sauron? What do you mean? One of the artisans chips in. We need to discuss this in detail, of course, but we can't bring guards and builders to all the villages at once. Since you know the peninsula better than anyone, where do you think would be the best starting point? So, who do we want to send help to first? Our options are Howler's Dell, strong, prosperous, close to the valley. Although Theus is an ambitious bitch, we could, in fact, hold up our end of the bargain and be like, that's the best place to go. We could say Old Pagos has a lot to offer, and the monks will secure the tribe's loyalty. They have just survived a plague. They could use an influx of new blood, as well as food and supplies. Perhaps Old Pagos is the way to go. Help them thrive after the plague. We say White Marshes is weakened and lacks guidance. You can turn them into the perfect outpost. Plus, the peat fields are a good resource and excellent. They have, in many ways, had the most losses out of everyone, even Old Pagos with its plague, primarily because they were the weakest to begin with. We could send them help first. Or we could say creeks, which may be small but has great potential and ambitions. Creeks was our home, became our home away from home, and Ela wishes to be a place known for having artisans, so they would be welcoming and happy. Or we could say, I know nothing about Trey, and just wash our hands of having an opinion on the matter. It looks like I have support for White Marshes. White Marshes was the village that we were afraid of the most, that we avoided for the longest, and yet in the end became, I think, very fond of, because we understood the plight of their people. Gale Rocks already kind of has a bill. So it's essentially, where else do you think we should start? You consider White Marshes to be disposable. I mean, they did fall off of Wright's teachings pretty hardcore. This might be a way of ensuring that they never do so again. I believe White Marshes wins, so we will send White Marshes help first. A clerk puts a wax tablet on top of the pile, then opens another one, letting out a long sigh. I keep writing the Peninsula. Does that place have any name? So there's one I can think of, or not really. One I can think of, or not really. One or two, chat. You know what to do. I am counting on all of you. Winter Fairy says 2. Sorry Awkward says 1. We get to name it. Does that change your vote, Winter Fairy? Do you want to name the peninsula? 1. The place with all the horrible animals. Oh, I guess we're going with 1. We're gonna name the peninsula. There's one I can think of. What should we call it? I believe Trav has already named the peninsula the place with all the horrible animals. Oh no. Oh no. Sorry, Awkward. Sorry, Awkward is gonna make me name the peninsula. Oh, you got me. Sorry, Awkward. You got me. Well then, guys, me and names. I'm bad with them to begin with, both remembering them and making them up. Why do you do this to me? Some water ASMR for you. Let's see here. What do we think of the Northern Peninsula? We could be dramatic and call it the Northern Death or something crazy like that. But I don't really believe that. They're just people trying to survive. You know what? I'm going to be a little bit poetic. The peninsula is north of somewhere. Oops, if I can spell. That peninsula is now the north of somewhere. There you go. Sorry, Awkward. Congratulations. I have named the peninsula. Colonizer, we succeeded a bit too much. That was one of the achievements. Yes, so it's now the peninsula of north of somewhere. This is what you get when you make me name things, people. The next day, you take part in another meeting in the guild's chambers. The council representatives are not as numerous this time around, but you recognize a few of the main members, including the city chief. You portrayed a promising future, he tells you at the start, and we're going to be sure to direct that place accordingly. Job, citizen. Doesn't even call us by our name. You return to the street with a wooden casket heavy with dragon bones. It will provide for you and Soda Pop until summer. So, with the city sending its people north, my efforts to keep the tribe safe won't go to waste, or I deserve my rest. I helped many people. One or two efforts or people. Efforts or people. One or two. Winter Fairy starts off the vote with 1. What does the rest of chat think? Crafty Blue also says 1. Trav says 2. Not so sure that the tribes are so safe now, to be honest. Oh, yeah, no. Greed is happening. You know, there's another game that I own all about greed. And a couple versions of it, too. But the ones have won the vote. So, with the city sending its people north, my efforts to keep the tribe safe won't go to waste. The sudden flow of merchants, soldiers, explorers, and supplies shook the north. While at first the tribes opposed some of the presented opportunities, they couldn't resist the temptation of new inventions, crops, and security. After a few years, artisans, herbalists, hunters, and poor city folk started to look for a new home in this rich land, and just a generation later, the officials of Havlavin cleared the wilderness in the southeast, preparing it for a new village loyal to its interests. Roadwarden by Arius. The trade route following the Western Trail greatly benefited the dwellers of Pelt of the North. After 5 more years, they moved to the city to live off their savings, but a few of them got attached to their now safe home. They remained in the inn and started to expand it, making room for the next generation to join them. Dalit, the leader of this new hamlet, allowed needy travelers to stay in the inn free of charge. One of her most trusted friends was Tulia, who arrived to Pelt soon after losing her squad, seeking stable work among the hunters. With the help of While Howler's Dell wasn't at first considered a crucial part of the new trade route, Theus's charm managed to bridge the gap between her and the council representatives. And if there were any objections, they were muffled underneath her iron fist. Thanks to the restored fishing hamlet, the locals freed themselves from their reliance on the fishers from the north. Soon, new hamlets of lumberjacks, stonecutters, and trappers were built, some of them employing only the laborers from the city. More and more words of the city folk sunk into the speech of the locals, and as time went on, their customs changed. After the priests of Rite arrived, the mayor was among the first souls to convert. The influence of the druids dwindled, never to recover. Agidia never forgave the sins of her neighbors. Afraid to face her mother, she decided to leave the peninsula in spring, forming a group of adventurers who were eager to save innocent lives even without pay. While she couldn't reverse the destruction of Steep House, her noble deeds helped her spend her nights in peace. Steep House didn't stay alone for long. The people of Howlers worked together with the city folk, turning the scattered bricks and logs into a wall to protect the trail from the beasts of the woodlands, and getting rid of any trace of the Northerners' wrongdoing. Oof, that feels bad. Lisa Olson was the editing staff for this game, and thank you, Lisa. We found very few spelling errors and terribly worded sentences. You did an excellent job. tribes of Old Pagos lost many lives to the plague, but the supplies brought to them by their friends from Gale Rocks helped them overcome the harsh winter. Thanks to the revitalized trade route, the locals returned to their craft, providing an essential material to the security of the northern roads and the settlements. Their famous statues soon reached the houses in the city. The tribe their savings for the darker days, but many years would pass before they felt hunger again. Tertia stayed in the village, but rejected the further responsibility, returning the power. She spent a few years patrolling the roads, until by the selfless help received during her struggles. She joined the monks on the mountain, guarding them from flying beasts and escorting them on their journeys to other monasteries. Quintus eagerly joined his friends at Pelt. His next years were full of brave hunts and drinking, until he mixed the two a bit too much, barely escaping a runner. With the help of his companions, he began his path towards maturity. We have the wonderful original music from Nicholas Roeder, Felix Watson, and Finn Bennett. I have very much enjoyed the soundtrack of Roadwarden, and I hope all of you have done the same. So congrats to them on their gorgeous music. We have enjoyed it thoroughly. While Havlavin wasn't eager to directly support the monks, the easier access to supplies almost allowed them to finish work on the library in stone. However, their poor planning led to a disaster after a violent earthquake. The mountain collapsed under its own weight, burying many souls alive. Well, that's really depressing for the monks. Apparently, Black Yen, Dan Kane, Hinterheim, Jonathan Fraser, Scott Buckley, and more added additional music, and they did an excellent job. Orientus kept his word and steered clear of black magic, stepping into the background of local politics. While he guided his neighbors spiritually, he no longer claimed to be a prophet. The people of White Marshes were growing in comfort, not only trading with the city folk, but also offering their services as guards to the caravans and travelers, gaining more from such journeys than they ever would from their unusual soil. After Helvius' short-sighted leadership hindered the Hovlavin woodcutting investment, his tribe took away his power, pushing him back into hard labor and giving an opportunity to a more moderate artisan. Thrasus stayed with his people, but his past descent was never forgiven. He spent more and more time exploring the bogs, seeking something that would earn the acceptance of his family. But despite all the preparations he took to protect himself from the beasts, he died with his own stew in his mouth, poisoned by a wrongly picked mushroom. Oh, that's sad. He was such a sweet guy. Terrible. I mean, Helvius got what he was coming for him, but I don't think that the druid absolutely did. The pagans won't know that the monks destroyed their old library. Some ups, some downs, yeah. Yep, definitely. But at least White Marshes is now thriving. It was such a shithole when we founded. Yar, Jetrel, Zabin, Bertram, and Chemo Rudlin supplied stock images to the game. So some of the gorgeous images that we have seen were from these people. So thank you, guys. Thank you for your work. The numerous caravans made all the difference to Foggy, who used the dragon bones to pay for the supplies and help that were needed to build a proper wall, then the first new buildings of her growing hamlet. The wealth of trade helped her stick to tavern keeping, and she spent the last 3 decades of her life gently aging, but being louder than ever, filled with goals and ambition. The place known as Foggy's home stands to this day on the bank of Foggy Lake, run by the tribe of Creeks, though many believe it may soon become its own village. Using the pay he got from the Roadwarden, Zavi soon left the tavern, traveling between the 10 cities by stealing from merchants, artisans, and priests. After a few years, he was sentenced to death by banishment. Ilan, on the other hand, learned a few things from the hunters and worked at the inn's head trapper till the end of his days. Oh no, we contributed to Zavi's criminal lifestyle. I feel bad now. Ilan was the smarter one. So the ensemble team was Dennis Blumenthal, Michelle Basiello, Marion Denaflay, Tim Friend, or Frond, Daniel Gubala, Tobias Hanika, Marion Marker, Stefan Mernick, Helge Peglo, Lars Raki, Yu Roth, Christian Schulter, Maurice Stockshire, Jerome Zenker, and Maria Zubova, which I have no idea what they did to help bring Roadwarden to life. But thank you guys, the ensemble team, for making this beautiful game. I've garbled and destroyed some of your names, and I apologize. But props to the ensemble team for all that they've done. Thanks to the new supplies gained through trade and the copper coming from the new mining hamlet, the children of Creeks grew in strength and comfort. The guild brought experienced tanners and fur makers with them, helping the locals mimic the techniques of the masters, but also discouraging any ambitions of farming and fishing. After a decade, the village was completely dependent on purchasing supplies from the outside, and soon after, it learned that it could get the help of city architects if, of course, the tribe agreed to building a small chapel of the rite and welcome the priests who would just love to run it. Ela quickly realized that keeping the road safe was much better way to earn dragon bones than selling his crooked chairs and tables. While he wasn't a fighter, he often joined the merchants traveling the peninsula, exchanging news and suggesting new investments. In the meantime, he gladly engraved the shapes of animals on cups and plates. Ephron, shaken by what happened to his friends, spent a few years traveling with caravans and learning from other tribes about more efficient, disciplined ways of organizing hunts and foraging trips. While it wasn't easy for him to influence his family, his efforts saved many lives of the younger generations. At the very least, the brothers learned from their mistakes. Koyama Satsuki, Free SFX, and Zafsplat, and more offered stock sounds for the games. So some of the sounds from the games that were not specifically music are from these resources, and more. Good to know if you ever decide to make games yourselves. The people of Gale Rocks didn't need much time to experience improvements. Selling the excess of fish and salt, they received much needed crops and tools and strengthened their ties with the United Church. In the years to come, their days were good and, for the most part, remained the same. See, they already had trade connections, so they were fine. A special thanks to Joanna Falkowska. Apologies for stumbling over your name, but I'm glad that you get special thanks, though I do not know what for. Though with difficulty, the road leading through the heart of the forest was restored, maintained by the combined efforts of soldiers and the locals. In its center, surrounding the ancient cairn, was built a hamlet for travelers known as Between Towers. While she no longer had her tribe's support, Glaucia refused to abandon her new target, the people of Howler's Dell. She bothered them for a few seasons, but once her supplies ran short, she got reckless and got caught by the village guards. She died with the sickle sword in her hand. Oh, Glaucia. So bad. I feel bad for Glaucia. I mean, she made the choice to become such a cruel, horrible person, but it wasn't necessary. It just really was not necessary. This game was made with the RenPy engine, and to be quite frank, it ran beautifully. I don't have any complaints about RenPy, so congrats to the makers of the RenPy engine, and thank you, game developers, for using it. It was a lovely experience. Eudocia agreed to do some work for the city folk, earning a great amount of luxurious wares, but since every request she got was a variation of making a weapon even more lethal, the boredom of repetition started to push her to her limits. She sought joy in her own projects, sharpening her senses with snakebait day after day, until her heart stopped beating a year later. Soon her residence became occupied by the soldiers of Hovlavin, who made nothing of the stone sentinels. Oh, we should never have given her that flower. Awful. We are the worst. But she was really never the same after Astron left. Let's be honest. Thank you for joining us, and chat, thank you for joining me playing this game as well. So I appreciate you, and I know the game developers appreciate their game being enjoyed. I know. Sorry, Awkward, I killed your favorite NPC, I'm sorry. And it's awkward. Cephas of the tribe of the Green Mountain, worried about the growing presence of the city folk, decided to meet with the soldiers garrisoned at the watchtower by the eastern road and describe the borders of the tribe's territory. The tense negotiations would reoccur once every few years, at one point turning into an open conflict, but the officials were too determined to let go of their recent prey. After losing many warriors, the tribe ended up blocking the trail that connected it to the rest of the peninsula. Well, our bad. Salron, the Roadwarden of north of somewhere, tried to get used to the routine of the city folk, but after a year of struggling to provide for their palfrey, they decided to once again hit the road, believing they could still change the Dragonwoods. Even though they had no backing from the city officials, they sought new opportunities to save individuals and tribes, but being forced to stay on the move, they rarely received help in return. It didn't take long before they met their end in the middle of nowhere, shot dead after intervening in a robbery. Oh, and then we end so terribly. We didn't even get to retire to Creeks. We died. We died terribly. Oh, I'm so sorry. Sorry, Awkward, that you got stuck in a meeting. Those are the worst. But yes, I forced it. You forced me to name it, and the peninsula became known as North of Somewhere. That was sad. Yep, that was sad. We got an ad incoming for subscribers in roughly 30 seconds or so be on the lookout for that. However, this is the end of Roadwarden by Moral Anxiety Games and the assembly team. This was a fantastic game. I mean, I know that our ending was not the ending that any of us would have wanted for Salron the Roadwarden, but this was a fantastic game. This was a fairly blind playthrough. I had some people in chat help me out because they'd played it before or were able to look things up for me, but for the most part, I went into this blind, not having much of any idea of what I was getting into. I had played a little bit of the beginning just to see if the game was something I would like, and then it was voted to play in my stream, so I would highly recommend Roadwarden to anyone who's looking for a game like this to play. If anyone in chat has enjoyed this, please pick up a copy of Roadwarden if you don't already own it. I highly recommend. It was solid. The RenPy system that runs this game is very smooth. The fact that it's a pixelated isometric art leads really well. The sounds and the musical scores fit really well, are very atmospheric, are very enjoyable. Just the way the game plays is beautiful. But like, we made choices and now we have to live with the consequences of having died by a robbery. That is the consequences of us trying to help everyone we can. And it is very replayable. There are 4 classes, 3 to 4 classes in this game. We played on story mode, which had no time limit, but there's normal mode with a fairly reasonable time limit to get everything done in, and there's also a hard mode where it's gonna be a slog, it's gonna be a struggle, you gotta do it fast. If you know the game very well, then that is helpful. Because every decision you make has a couple of options, there are decisions that we made, achievements that we never found, things still to find in this game. So if you want to play it for yourself, there will be new things to find that I never found or did not ever do. We did all the quests that we could, but I'm sure there are things that I could have done differently and would have changed things drastically. But I am very pleased. So, chat, feel free to weigh in on what you think about the game. For those of you who've never played before, feel free to throw in your own words. But this is the end of Roadwarden, except maybe chat will want me to play it again. We'll see. But feel free to discuss how you feel about the game, what you liked, what you didn't like, who your favorite NPC was. Please chat. While I take some water and stop talking for a second, tell me what your views are. $25 out of 41 achievements. Not bad. Not bad indeed. Yeah, it's sad that we died in the end. It is indeed. So with that being the case, let's quit out of this real quick. Here's my desktop. Beautiful fan art for Critical Role of Whitestone. It's one of my favorites, but we'll bring up my list here. So we have just finished Road. We have made the many achievements. Let's see here. View all, please. So we got the colonizer, which means that we succeeded a bit too much. We got gentle heart. We showed mercy to many beasts and animals. The Roadwarden, we completed their mission. Bright night, we protected the north from the undead. The labyrinth, we found Astron. The faithless abandoned their faith during their journey. So we abandoned our faith. Deal with the enchantress. We were tasked of taking the golem glove to the city, and the guts was brave enough to tell Glaucia the truth and get beaten up for it. We stopped the necromancers, survived more battles than most travelers, reached the tribe of the Green Mountain, and reached every village. We became an expert in armor repairing, caught 10 fish with our traps, reached the caves of the monastery, and found the bandits' hideout as well. We completed the goal of our journey, which is why we got bigger heart, and sacrificed the seed to help others. We found the copper vein, managed to make the eastern path safer, foraged 12 bundles of wild plants, and gained insight into the methods of defending ourselves from beasts. We reached all 4 major crossroads and the sea, and also reached the new crossroad. But there are many more to find, including some hidden ones. So, we did some things. That's what we did. That is the end of the game. Now, chat, we've got some. There's a bed we didn't sleep in. I wonder where. I don't know. I have no idea. Can't think of a bed we didn't sleep in, but maybe there was one. Maybe if we'd played our cards right, we could have slept at Glaucia's hideout. I don't know. So that's the end of Roadwarden. We have some options. We could play another choice of games story, which doesn't have beautiful artwork, but generally has beautiful games. I've got a couple of them in here. Tally Ho, Metahuman Inc., The Eagle's Heir are all three of them choice of games stories. They're choose your own adventure stories. It's a lot of me reading. And then, like with Gordon, we make choices when it comes to that, and we try to make our way through. We did these early on when I started streaming, but they are a little simple, a little fun. Could be a nice brain chaser after Roadwarden. The Eagle's Heir is about the time of Napoleon. You are Napoleon's heir, and you have to deal with steampunk alternate history, political maneuvering, airship adventures, and romantic intrigue. Will we bring liberty to France, or will we plunge Europe into bloody war? So that could be a story we could pursue. Metahuman Inc. is all about superpowers. As the CEO of a corporation that sells superpowers to the highest bidder, you'll harness dark magic, travel through time to inflate your stock prices, and much, much more. There's also Tally Ho, where we could be the perfect gentleman's gentleman, lady's lady, or person's person. And but we must untangle our employer's naughtiest problems with elegance and unruffled grace either way. So those are just stories with, as you can see, options. Just to choose your own adventure story where I do a lot of reading, and there's a lot less going on. Also have the Oregon Trail. This is a remake of a very classic nostalgia game for me. I have obviously been playing it without chat, but I could start up a new game and we could attempt to survive the Oregon Trail and all of its fancy, fabulous updates. There's plenty of art, plenty of music. They've even had some sensitivity people in for Native Americans, so we will have a far, far more realistic version of going from the east to Oregon. Could be a fun time. Could be a very fun time. But the Oregon Trail is big nostalgia for me, and I believe some other people in the chat. I played the original Oregon Trail extensively as a child. Died from dysentery many times, among other things. It's a fun game. Or, well, I Count from Zero, who's apparently not in today, did buy me Disco Elysium, the final cut. So there is that to play. This would be a blind playthrough for me. I do not know Disco Elysium at all. I've gone over their store page. Seems interesting, but it is my wheelhouse, apparently. We would be a detective with a unique skill system at our disposal and a whole city to carve our path across. Interrogate unforgettable characters, crack murders, or take bribes. Become a hero or an absolute disaster of a human being. Either way, this is also an option. Probably the the Dusk Fox house, actually, Trav. It's probably the bed we missed because we didn't kick them out. It is an option. Sorry, awkward. It is an option. But as chat knows, I like to get chat's opinion on this. I would not offer an option I'm unwilling to play. So, Disco Elysium, The Eagle's Heir, Metahuman Inc., The Oregon Trail, and Tally Ho are all options for the next game that we will play on my stream. And it is up to chat to decide which one we do next. Get your options out there. Make make an argument for the game you want to see us play next. Because remember, chat, if there is the option for voting, you guys are helping me play this. So this is not just me playing the game; it's us playing the game. Looks like I've got support for Oregon Trail and some interest for Disco Elysium. So it looks like those are the two that have chat's inspiration the most. I knew that choice of games would be kind of simple after this. And I know that Disco Elysium has a bit of a following as well. But I mean, Oregon Trail, at least for those of us in the US, classic nostalgia. I bought it for my birthday. I bought myself that game, the Oregon Trail, as a present for me on my birthday. So I'm happy to play more of it. It looks like I have kind of a 2-and-2 situation here. So I choose Goose Goose Duck. Goose Goose Duck is actually a Among Us clone with the voice chat version of the mod already installed, like as part of the game. So Goose Goose Duck is like a free game for Among Us type play. I do on occasion play Goose Goose Duck with other streamers that I have had in chat. Dragon, Reed are both fellow streamers who I have played Goose Goose Duck with and on their streams, no less. So Goose Goose Duck is not something that I can play on my own for my stream. I would need a good 4 to 6 players to play Goose Goose Duck with, and everybody would have to be ready for an Among Us style game. So you can't choose Goose Goose Duck. Sorry, awkward. You guys are going to make me decide what game I play next, aren't you? Aren't you? Unless you're coming to play with me, sorry, awkward, I am not. And everyone would have to be willing to play voice chat. So they'd be on my stream. I'd be willing to do it, but I don't think I have quite the community to host a Goose Goose Duck night. I have 2 votes for Oregon Trail, and I believe I have 2 votes for Disco Elysium because Sorry Awkward really wants me to play it. And I'm pretty sure Dragon is just lurking in the background somewhere. So, darn it. I have to make the choice. You guys are the worst. You really are. I love you all to bits and pieces, though. Goodness. Well. Now I'm being bullied. Choose Stardew. We actually have played Stardew Valley on the stream. I have bopped around in a personal farm that I sometimes play with, just when we've finished early. I just kind of bop around. We've had a Stardew Valley Friday at one point, and I'm sure Stardew Valley will come around on occasion. In Potionomics, I have no idea what Potionomics is. Sorry, awkward. I have no idea what that is. I mean, some of these are not games that I will play on stream. Your Chronicle is basically an idle game. Panorama is pretty, but I don't know. It's kind of a puzzle game, really. As you can see from the community content here, it makes very pretty maps, but it's not really something that I can have my community join in on. So that's just kind of a when I need a day to meditate, I play Panorama. It's very pretty. I actually have another game very similar to this in my list, but it's not installed. And then Goose Goose Duck is multiplayer madness. Fun game though, multiplayer madness. But yeah, it's not really on the list. So, which one do I want to play more? The brand new shiny that was gifted to me for stream, or the nostalgic, ever nostalgic play that I've already been playing so much of? It's a semi-idle. I actually did get very bored with idle games like Cookie Clicker and such like that. So your Chronicle actually is like, yes, you idle for quite some time while you grind certain bosses. You have to like fuss with things, which makes me happy. So I Count from Zero gifted me the game yesterday. He got so excited about your excitement, sorry, awkward, that he literally was like, here you go. I have the most generous friends. Traveler's Rest, where you get to be an innkeeper. I looked into it. I still don't own it, Winter Fairy. I'm not entirely certain that about the type of game it is. I have been doing a lot of very choose your own adventure, make, there's always a point where we need to make choices so that chat can get involved. Otherwise it's just me playing a game and you guys maybe hanging out. Like, I like the interaction of having my chat help me play games so that you're playing along with me, even if the game is not in front of you. But yeah, I haven't checked out Traveler's Rest super much. So I appreciate the gesture. Sorry, awkward. I Count from Zero has been my friend for quite some time, so he already is a friend on Steam. That's why he beat you to it. But he was on your page, so I guess you guys can consider yourselves sort of pseudo friendly acquaintances now, because you got excited and he bought the game for me to play. With that being said, I guess we're gonna go for Disco Elysium. As much as the Oregon Trail would amuse the non-USians in the chat, just because they don't understand our nostalgia obsession with it, I think I will play something brand new to me. So perhaps we will keep an eye on Traveler's Rest for a later date when it's further in its development, seeing as Trav has done the research for me, because Trav likes to do research things for me, and I appreciate him for that. So we will play Disco Elysium next. That's the consensus in chat. Disco Elysium starts tomorrow. So that we can start it up and I can, of course, make sure that it works. I crave adventure. Well, seeing as that we're going to start Disco Elysium tomorrow and we skipped out on the Oregon Trail, perhaps, just perhaps, for the rest of my stream, I will play a little bit of Oregon Trail so you guys can see what you're missing out on. How does that sound, chat? What do you think? Does that sound pretty good? Oh, I didn't mean to click that. Let's go back. Oh, I know. I am so generous. Sorry, awkward. Look at this. So, with that being said, Disco Elysium starts tomorrow. Tell your friends. Bring all your friends tomorrow so that we can start some Disco Elysium time. But until then, enough to make all the choices. I'm actually already in mid play in a run, so quite possibly, sorry, awkward, quite possibly. We're gonna play a little bit of Oregon Trail. In fact, I'm gonna do a thing. No, actually, I'm not gonna do a thing. We're just play a little bit of Oregon Trail and see where it takes us. Get out of here, Steam. It's loading. It's loading. So enjoy this beautiful rendition of Whitestone. I have to turn down some sound, please. I've never done this on my stream, so please let me know if the sound is a problem. As you can see, I'm already working on something. Please, chat, tell me if the sounds are too loud coming from Oregon Trail. I don't... I think I have... Let's check the sound options. Yeah, I have the music turned off. We'll just do a little bit of this to make sure that it's not blasting anyone. Yeah, we're good here. All right, escape. So, I am actually not doing the main Oregon Trail right, doing one of the side trails, one of the journeys. As you can see, there's a lot to this version of Oregon Trail that is very, very different from the original because there was only one journey there. All right, let me turn it down a little bit more. Just, I hope that's better. Whitestone arc of Critical Role was pretty good for campaign 1. It was pretty, I mean, but campaign 1 had some really amazing arcs. Campaign 2 had some really amazing arcs. I am very, very behind on campaign 3, so I apologize to all the critters in my chat. I'm behind. I'm very behind. Someday I will catch up. Today is not that day. So we're just gonna resume the Chisholm Trail. We are headed from Texas north, I think. Yeah. We're headed to unlock the cook class in this trail. So we're herding cattle. Well, good. At least I know that I'm not the only one behind. So here we go. We are in the middle of this. But as you can see, there's definitely an upgrade to the art style of the original game. We are at the Red River Station, so we can talk to people, trade, go to the store, get services, rest, or cross the river. Let's talk to people. Herds of cattle crowd the riverbank as far as the eye can see, as cowboys take their turns crossing the busy river. I unfortunately can do nothing about the frame rate. It's as good as this gets. This is also a good test to see if a game this heavy in graphics and movement can handle can be streamed by my computer, to be honest. Anyway, let's talk to Jesse Chisholm. You're acquainted with Black Beaver, aren't you? He told me he'd be coming this way. He also suggested that you might need advice on navigating the trail north. If that's all you're asking for, then I can certainly offer my assistance. Ask about Vincente. Vicente is my adopted son. I'm too busy to guide you myself, but I understand that he's accompanying you. He may be new to the cattle trade, but he's a bright young man with plenty of experience as an interpreter. I expect he'll be of great value to your party. Ask for advice. You'll be entering Indian territory once you cross the river here. The lands beyond belong to many native nations, those who have always lived there, and the 5 tribes: Chickasaw, Choctaw, Seminole, Muskogee, and Cherokee. There are more major cities along the cattle trail itself, so you'll have to rely on trade if you wish to resupply. I've always believed in diplomacy. Do right by the people you meet, and they'll do right by you. You should expect to pay a fee for the right to cross the native nations. Good to know. Ask about the cattle trade. I've never actually worked as a trail hand. For decades, I've been a trader and interpreter first and foremost. I've made quite a name for myself, not to mention a sizable fortune. Now that Joseph McCoy has started expanding Albion, my old road has taken on a new life as a cattle trail. Cool. So, that is Jesse. The party doesn't wish to disturb Jesse any further, so they decide to leave him to his business. Let me know, chat, what the problems are with the stream. Is the frame rate still poor? Is the sound still too loud? What's going on? And also for non-subscribers, an ad will start in roughly a minute, so be on the lookout for that. This is your warning. Well, let's talk to Vicente while I'm waiting for chat feedback. It's good to see my father again. He's always has such high expectations of me, so I hope I can live up to them. But to see so many cattle here at Red River sets my mind to wondering, can I really succeed in the trade? Don't worry, I'll try my hardest. Oh yeah, this has historical figures in it. Larkin Patrick Williams. I tell you, working for the Wagner Ranch is the life. Pay is good, and all I have to do is check the brands of the cattle crossing the river and make sure nobody's trying to sneak off with the Wagner stock. Little bit of a voice there. Don't know if that was good at all. Probably not. But yeah, Larkin. Sure, everybody now and then the drovers will take a shot at me, but it's understandable. Nobody likes a stranger inspecting their herd. Still, haven't been hit yet, and whenever I'm not working, I get to relax under my favorite cottonwood tree. Good for a lark like me. I know, where's Larkin, right? So that's all the people we can talk to here. For trade, we can trade supplies, like supplies in our wagon. We can sell pelts or sell fish. We have no food, a little bit of money, and our cattle are doing moderately. So it appears some people are willing to trade with you. Who would you like to trade with? And this gentleman is offering 3 pelts. This lady is offering 2 toolboxes. This gentleman is offering 3 wheels of grease. And this lady is offering 3 coffee. But we have very little to trade with. So we are not going to go there. We are going to go to the store and hopefully buy food. We can't afford the food. Well, we're screwed. This is all we have. We're really screwed. Like, really, really screwed. I am literally dying on this. I did not do well on this run. So we have to exit the store now. For services, we could pay for a barber to up our hygiene stat, of which here are our stats. A physician to up our health stat, which is the green bar. We could fix our blacksmith, or fix our wagon with the blacksmith. We have a little bit of damage to the wagon, and everybody is starving. It's not good. Guys, this is not good. This is a very bad run. We could rest, but we're starving, so that's not a good idea. So we're going to try and cross the Red River. We must be cautious when crossing this river. We're likely to have an incident if we don't make careful preparations. How should the party cross the river? Should we attempt to ford the river, or should we attempt to caulk the wagon? Let's see what fording the river will do. Nope, not gonna be good. We're reconsidering. What about caulking the wagon? Well, that's better. Do we have any pelts to seal it with? Nope. Do we have any way to repair it? Nope. This is as good as it's gonna go. Wish us luck, guys. This may be the end of my run. Everybody's so mad. Look at this. So bad. Forlorn. Starving. Under 50% chance of success. We're screwed. I forgot I was dying in this run, but here we go. I have no control here, but this did not go well. Lulu runs off to join the circus. Maybe. The wagon is overturned by the current. The party and their belongings are swept downstream. Time lost today. Wagon condition bad. We lost bullets, worms for fishing. We lost corn. We lost fat. We lost money, and we lost fish. Everybody's bad. Lulu is forlorn. Continue. The wagon eventually runs aground on the far bank, some way down the river. The party collects what supplies they can and uncaulks the wagon. With much time lost, the exhausted party attempts to get the journey back on course. It's all bad. So, that was Red River Station, and we're going to a Washita River crossing. We're actually trying to get here, and it's going badly. Oh boy, is it going badly. Washita River Crossing, a relatively straightforward river crossing in the northwest corner of the Chickasaw Nation. It's not food for us, unfortunately. Let's see here. We still have some amount to... This is fish heads. This is maize. This is offal, actually, which is the same as fat. We've got a couple of bullets, and we have a single clean clothes. Who needs clean clothes the most? Julius or Mabel? Julius or Mabel? Julius. That was it. That's all we got. Well, so hunting or fishing? If I go hunting, I can fish afterwards. If I go fishing, I can only hang out at a rest stop. If I don't take this rest stop, I can't feed the oxen, but I can harvest something. We're gonna go hunting first. You can see how bad I am at hunting game then. You lost food? Fish? Well, yes. We're actually hunting. An area known for its deer population. A perfect opportunity to hunt for food. I have 2 bullets. I gotta make it count. Some items have fallen. No, repack. Just stop. Stop. Here we go. Continue. Let's go. Everybody's dying. The wagon is wearing out. Yes, we will just repack. There we go. We'll just move all this over here. and hope. I have nothing to fix it with. It's so bad, you guys. You don't even understand. All right, who'd we run into? Forlorn Longhorn. George Glenn. We found ourselves in a bad box here. This longhorn looks to be in a bad way, so we were just deciding what to do with it. It won't survive the journey in its current condition, but we might be able to treat it. If we don't cut it loose now, it'll make the rest of the herd sick for sure. Better take care of the healthy stock than waste our time with the sick ones, I say. We could always take the time to butcher it. Our cookies might appreciate the extra supply of meat. I'm sure we'd appreciate whatever they cook with it. I'd appreciate your input. So, we could butcher the longhorn, leave it behind, let it rest, or examine it to see if it can be saved. We have no food. You know what? I'm butchering it. Yeah, we're eating cow. Longhorn's carcass is dressed out and the meat salted. The cowboys make sure that most of the meat is stored safely in the wagon for future meals. Oh my god, we have food. To that end, what are we at? Bare bones and steady. Okay, that's as good as it gets because we don't got a lot. At the very least, we're feeling much better. Lulu's still forlorn, but everybody else stopped starving. Where are we? Are we lost? It becomes evident that Mabel has been holding the map upside down, with predictable results. The wagon is now 4 hours off course. Oopsie daisies. There is a debate amongst the party about how best to return the trail. Who should take the lead? So as you can see, we don't know how two people's skill in this area is. Mabel is terrible at it, obviously. Julius is awesome at it, so we're gonna go with Julius. Let's go. It's her fault, after all, yes. This way. With skill and a plume, Julius swiftly guides the party back to the intended route, saving them from days of aimless wandering. But he's forlorn now, and it's bad. It's bad. Surviving by the skin of our teeth, we may not make it. The party knows this would be a good location to collect special ingredients for cooking that the cowboys will appreciate. After hunting, they'll be able to obtain offal from the animal carcasses. All right, let's go. Hunting is ideally suited for those who have spent time in the wilderness, requiring keen shooting skill and the ability to track prey through challenging environments. Those with low stamina will be unable to carry back much meat. Who should hunt? Stamina is the yellow. Everyone sucks at it, but Benjamin is the least sucking at it. So I don't know. It's gonna be Benjamin. Here we go. Now to the hunting that I'm very bad at. Nope, 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 nope. Oh, I missed. Oh, it's bad. Oh, I missed again. That is all of our bullets. Oh no, I should have waited. I'm terrible at this mini game. We have no bullets and all this meat. Well, we're going to end the game. Still starving, and it's all bad. I'm sorry, awkward. I don't actually have any control over that. I can't up the recording in any way, so you'll have to fiddle with Twitch options to help. I don't have any ability. I'm sorry. Benjamin failed. So it is time for the fishing hole. I'm much better at the fishing game. We've spotted some coyotes. The party knows this would be a good spot to collect special ingredients for cooking that the cowboys will appreciate. After fishing, they'll be able to obtain fish heads from the fish caught. The fish team in the water nearby, a prime location to cast a line and try and catch a bite. Though bait is required, the party could craft some. The party has 3 bait. Can we craft any more? Absolutely not. We have nothing to craft it with. Let's go fishing. Well, the only person we don't know about the fishing skill is Lulu. I'm going to see what Lulu has. 2. She's not bad. Not bad. Come on, Lulu. This one I'm much better at. All right. Where do we have fishes? Here, fishy. There you are. All right. Da-na-na-na. We caught a fish. Da-na-na-na. Caught another one. Told you, I'm much better at this game. And yes, I did used to play Zelda games when I was younger. No, I have not played the new Zelda game. We caught yet another fish, and we ran out of bait, so that's the end of fishing. But we have more food. Just a little bit. Some variety. Lulu manages to catch 60 pounds of fish and brings it all back to storage. Without a proper knife, she can't properly clean the fish, and only some of the meat is obtained. Knives can be unlocked by completing the Bitter Winter journey. I haven't even unlocked it yet. To utilize all parts of the fish, Lulu has collected 2 fish heads from the haul. These will be useful to cook with the next campsite. We've bypassed both campsites we could have used it in, so it's time to go a gathering. A gathering. It's time to go a gathering we go. Everybody's unhappy. Our wagon is falling apart. It's all bad. 3 people are forlorn. The wagon trundles by a cluster of gravestones by the trailside, recently placed by the look of them. A solemn air impresses itself upon the party, the grim recognition of the trail's oft-fatal hardships. Morale is very bad. Very bad. The party spies a small thicket of shrubs, each covered with small red berries. If gathered, they have medicinal properties that may prove useful. The party also thinks they may be able to find maize for cooking that the cowboys will appreciate. Harvest away! Julius, go get. This will give us more things. While gathering the berries, Julius also notices a crop of maize in the distance. He decides to collect some of those as well, as they'll be useful to cook at the next campsite. We are not doing good right here. We're just not doing good. It's so bad. I need to heal some people. You need some healing. You're in the best shape, so you'll get more healing. Everything else is not something I can do anything about. Just a problem. Let's get that in a better place. Alright, here we go. Mabel storms off into the unknown. The remaining party's spirit seems to have lifted. I shan't miss her. Oh no. Mabel has abandoned the party, guys. We have lost a member to being forlorn because our morale was so low. Ahead, the muddy waters of the Wichita River gently flow to the south and east, promising a relatively safe crossing. Some travelers are gathered here to talk and trade with citizens of the Chickasaw Nation. As the party arrives at their next stop, someone rushes out to meet them. It is Mabel, looking worse for wear after spending time alone. She's returned. She decided she was stupid. Look, you lot are insufferable, but I need a group if I am to survive out here. Can I please rejoin? What do you think, chat? Should we let Mabel come back after she abandoned us for a couple of miles? Yes, but you're on half rations. We're already on meager rations. Half of that will not help her survive. And you never get to use the map again. Oh boy, she's in so much trouble. Oh, all right. We shall accept. She can come back. She's also no longer forlorn, and look at this. So many positives for bringing her back. I'm glad you see it my way. We are stronger together as much as we may not get along. Well, that fixed her. All right, who can we talk to? Northbound travelers make conversation trade with Chickasaw men and women as they prepare to cross the river. Black Beaver. I see you made it, more or less. I hope your cattle are doing well and you're keeping those cowboys' bellies full. My home isn't too far from here. If you weren't already busy, I might ask you to help fix my fence. My wife will be mad that I've been away for so long. I say I need supplies to fix the ranch, but she says I need to spend more time with our daughter Lucy. Well, maybe, but I'd rather spend time with her under a roof that doesn't leak. Let's talk to Mary. Slavery has been abolished here, and they say I'm free, but I still can't call myself a citizen of either the Chickasaw Nation or the United States. I don't have any place to go, so I think I'll stay here. This is where I was born, after all. Sam Shuona? The United States forces us off our land 30 years ago and has consistently failed to protect us here. When the war began, General Emory abandoned Fort Arbuckle and left us to the mercy of the Confederates. We had no alternative but to make an alliance with the South to protect our lives and property. Now we've been forced into seceding half our land into the United States government. What else could we have done? Tabitha Maytubby. Texan farmers come across the border and squat on our land. It's against the law, but what means do we have to stop them? If they must farm here, then why can't they lease the land like they're supposed to? All right. Things are not fabulous here. What can we trade? We could sell the fish that we have, but we literally need it to eat. So, ooh, somebody's offering more meat. Whoa, geez. It's expensive. I don't think we have anything that we can do for it. Julius, help. Oh, you're terrible at this. Never mind. Nope, that did not work. We got nothing. What about toolboxes? Can we get some toolboxes? We could give them our fish. Benjamin, help. Oh, you're too stinky. Yep, that didn't work. Nope. Nope. Bullets? Can we get some bullets? Lulu, help. Nope, she didn't do it either. Quick sell, Mabel. We got nothing. Okay, well, this is not going well. Back. Time to cross. This river looks to be much shallower than the last crossing. Still, we shouldn't underestimate it. How should the party cross the river? Let's try to ford the river this time. That did not work. Let's reconsider. Would this work? Oh, no. No, it does not. It works even worse. Slightly worse. We'll rest this time. We'll just rest a little bit. See if that helps. That helped. Okay. We can do this. We're still dying, but we can do this. Without further delay, the party fastens down their supplies and prepares to enter the cold water, careful to not get us swept away in the current. Nope, we're fucked. The party loses control of the wagon in the current and it topples over into the river. Oh, it's bad. We've lost so much. And Benjamin died. For Benjamin, gone too soon. Died of childhood. No. Not childhood. Died of weakness. Died of weakness. As the party drag themselves to shore, they look back for signs of their companion, but they are met only with the rush of water. With much time and many items lost, the exhausted party continues on their journey. This is a bad run, guys. Such a bad run. A river crossing in the so-called unassigned lands, former Muskogee Nation territory. Another river crossing. Oh god. We have no bait, so to the campsite. Repack, please. We will find a place to put it. This can go here, and this can go here. All right. Moving on. Poor Benjamin. Still no sign of them? Well, we've lost a decent chunk of the herd, Lizzie. I'm wondering what our next move should be. Looks like our cooks have just arrived. Maybe they can offer some advice. We've been searching for hours, George. Much as I hate to admit it, we've got no choice but to move on. I can find them if you give me enough time. I won't let the team down, I promise. Stubborn as a mule, the both of you. It's not a bad trait to have as cowhands until your boss needs to make a decision. Cookies, this is where you step in. Vincente wants to search for the cattle, but Lizzie believes they should just move on. Who should be convinced to stand down? We're going to convince Lizzie. Who's going to convince Lizzie? Mabel's going to convince Lizzie. She failed. Look, you don't need to convince me that the herd is worth protecting, but Vincente is the one who lost the cattle in the first place. When I say gee, he says ha. I'm not keen on wasting more of our time. Then it's settled. We're moving on without the lost cattle. Sorry, Vincente. You'll have to prove your trekking skills some other time. Yep. It's not good. Cattle are doing poorly. We're doing poorly. Everybody's doing poorly. Everything sucks. Including our wagon. This is not the best run. But we made it to camp. So we shall set up camp. Enough chatting. I don't got the patience for it. This trail is taking more of a toll on me than I expected. Cattle are going to start making a break for it if I'm not careful. Food now, please. We will cook. We will add maize. We will add offal. We will add a fish head. We will cook. Maize and offal are mixed into a paste, packed inside the fish heads and boiled in salt water, filling and full of flavor. Stuffed fish head are not something to turn one's nose up at when on the trail. Same thing again tonight. Y'all really couldn't get something else together? Can't be too picky out here. This will do just fine. George is right. We appreciate the meal, but maybe you could try something a bit different next time? That'd be nice. Well, we best be heading to bed now. Need to be bright and early to wrangle the cattle. Don't forget to look after yourselves as well. So, we could get morale up. We could get cleaner. We could heal the sick, or we could get our stamina up. We could also tell stories. We can also stargaze. I'm going to stargaze first. Just to show off the beautiful art of this game. It's very pretty. Trade maple for a cookbook. No kidding. I honestly believe that the hygiene is what we need the most of. But maybe, no, maybe morale would be better because these guys are both forlorn. Yep, we're going to celebrate. The party brings out the good stuff and celebrates a hard day's work late into the night, forgetting their troubles, if only for a moment. That will be a lot better. They're no longer forlorn. That has helped. All right, we don't have anything for fish, so we will have to go gather some supplies. I think it'll be mostly medicine. For those of you who are not subscribed, an ad starts in about 30 seconds or so. Please be on the lookout. Our party is starving yet again. Oh no. Oh no. Can we craft some bait? Nope. Leave. Yeah, no kidding. I don't know why river crossings don't allow you to, like, just automatically clean up, but that's just not a thing that happens here. So, yeah, this is the Oregon Trail. This is the gameplay. It's a thing. We are starving again. This I'm gonna move over here. This I'm actually gonna use. Julius, get better. Everything else sucks. Lulu reaches into the wagon to check the group's supplies, then emits a startled yelp and stumbles backwards. A snake hastily slithers out of the wagon, though nobody manages to get a good look at its species. Creature has bitten Lulu in the arm. We will treat without medicine. Who will treat it? Mabel will treat it! Be good for something, Mabel. Nope, she's not good for that either. Lulu feels ill almost immediately as the venom pumps through her veins. Lulu has a snake bite. Well, fluxed. Alright, we will get to the river crossing and then I will wrap up stream. So this has been the end of Roadwarden by Moral Anxiety Games and a little bit of a glimpse of the Oregon Trail, which we will not be playing past this last end of stream. Tomorrow we will be playing Disco Elysium, so brand new game, never played it before, no idea what we're going to be into, but tomorrow is a brand new game for my channel. I hope all of you have enjoyed this glimpse into both Roadwarden as well as the Oregon Trail. And again, I highly recommend Roadwarden. The Oregon Trail is a nostalgia buy for me, but for those of you who would enjoy that nostalgia vibe or just want to see what the heck the USians are so obsessed about, feel free to pick up this game as well. It's a beautiful recreation of a very old game. And it has a lot of historical facts and information in it. A lot of historical people are mentioned. It's interesting. So that's it for me, everyone. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Let's see if do I have anyone to raid? Can I raid anyone? Nope, nobody to raid today. So this is the end for today. Take care, everyone. I will hopefully see you tomorrow because I stream at 1 p.m. US time, Monday through Friday. So if that is not your time zone, feel free to ask Google what time zone it would be for you to join me tomorrow at 1 to start Disco Elysium. And until then, see you later, guys.